Imagine arriving at your annual military medical examination and being told that your testosterone level is too low. Then imagine being offered hormone replacement therapy, not because you are sick, but because the military believes it may improve your readiness, resilience, and performance. This is no longer a hypothetical question. It is the basis of a new policy announced on July 15, 2026 by U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth. But can testosterone really create stronger soldiers? And has any country tried something similar before? Welcome to Medilink Talks. I'm Dr. Jean-Pierre Kabongo, family physician and founder of the Homesteadication movement. Today, we will examine one of the most controversial military health announcements of recent years: the Pentagon's decision to screen military personnel for low testosterone. We will look at the history, the science, the potential benefits, the risks, the absolute contraindications, and what this policy could mean for the future of military medicine, not only in US, but throughout the world, as other nations might follow the US example. The main questions in this video are: can a nation improve the effectiveness of its military by optimizing hormone levels? Or are we witnessing a large-scale medical experiment that could expose healthy individuals to unnecessary risks? To answer these questions, we must first travel back through history. Part 1. What exactly did Honorable Pete Hegseth announce? Annual testosterone screening for military personnel aged 30 and older, optional screening for younger service members, voluntary testosterone replacement therapy when medically indicated. Goal: optimize readiness and performance. Historically, no country has ever enacted a peacetime policy of systematic, universal hormone testing to mass-prescribe medical testosterone replacement therapy, TRT, across an entire military. However, various militaries in the 20th century aggressively experimented with and systematically distributed testosterone derivatives, anabolic androgenic steroids, and stimulants to artificially optimize battlefield performance. To understand why modern medical bodies like the Endocrine Society are deeply concerned, we must look at 3 historical precedents where militaries tried to chemically engineer their troops and the catastrophic medical tolls that followed. The Endocrine Society is the world's oldest, largest, and most influential global organization dedicated to the study of hormones and clinical hormone care. It is a professional community containing over 18,000 medical scientists, physicians, researchers, and educators across more than 120 countries. Here are those 3 historical precedents where militaries tried to chemically engineer their troops and the consequences. 1. Nazi Germany, the Blitzkrieg stimulants. In the 1930s and 40s, the German military sought to eliminate the physiological need for sleep and fear. They systematically distributed Pervitin, a potent methamphetamine stimulant, alongside early experimentation with synthetic testosterone derivatives. The result: it fueled the initial hyper-aggressive burst of the Blitzkrieg. However, the medical backlash was swift. Soldiers suffered severe addiction, acute psychotic breaks, and profound physical exhaustion, forcing the military to heavily restrict the program as troops crumbled under chemical dependency. 2. The Soviet Union and East Germany, systemic androgen doping. During the Cold War, the Soviet bloc operated a highly organized, state-enforced program utilizing testosterone and synthetic anabolic steroids like oral turinabol. Financed and researched by military academies, this program treated elite personnel like organic machines, aiming to maximize physical mass, speed, and recovery. The result: while it successfully yielded athletic dominance and physical power, the long-term medical toll was catastrophic. Decades later, peer-reviewed follow-ups of these individuals revealed rampant liver failure, severe cardiovascular disease, psychiatric disturbances, and permanent endocrine destruction, resulting in major international tribunals and medical settlements. 3. The United States, Go pills and cognitive crashing. The US military has its own history of systemic enhancement, traditionally relying on central nervous system stimulants. From the Vietnam War through the early 2000s, the military routinely issued dexamphetamine, Go pills, to pilots and special forces to maintain alertness during long-endurance missions. The result: while the drugs kept troops awake, they severely impaired operational judgment. The policy led to profound post-mission crashes, psychological dependence, and tragic friendly fire incidents, proving that forcing a body past its natural physiological limits always carries a heavy price. 4. Castration and the creation of eunuchs. For thousands of years, ancient civilizations didn't try to add hormones to enhance performance. They systematically removed them. From imperial China and the Ottoman Empire to the Byzantine and Persian courts, rulers faced a massive security problem. How do you create a class of bodyguards and civil servants who are fiercely loyal and completely immune to political corruption? The solution was a brutal state-sponsored biological intervention, the creation of eunuchs through forced castration. By surgically removing testes, the source of testosterone, kings and emperors successfully engineered a highly specialized labor force. Sometimes the penis was as well amputated. Because these men could not father children, they had no dynastic ambitions. They couldn't pass down wealth, title, or power to a bloodline, meaning they had zero incentive to overthrow the king. They were entirely dependent on the monarch for survival, making them the ultimate incorruptible inner circle protectors. Key historical lesson: military organizations have repeatedly searched for biological methods to improve performance. Many interventions initially looked promising. Several later produced unintended consequences. To better understand the above consequences, please allow me to give you a synopsis on this medication hormone called testosterone. So what is testosterone? Produced primarily in the testes, it is a chemical that regulates muscle mass, bone density, libido, mood, energy, red blood cell production. What happens when testosterone is truly low? A person presenting with low testosterone will experience following symptoms: fatigue, reduced libido, depression, reduced muscle strength, poor recovery, reduced motivation. Given long-term potentially serious dangers of loosely prescribed testosterone, the world scientific community requires strict conditions to be met before prescribing this hormone. Here are the strict 3 conditions to be met in order to safely prescribe testosterone replacement therapy, TRT. These 3 conditions are symptoms, blood tests, and the absence of contraindications to testosterone. They need to be met all together and at the same time in the same patient. First, the patient must present with a clinical diagnosis of male hypogonadism, which is strictly defined by peer-reviewed guidelines as the coexistence of persistent clinical symptoms of lack of testosterone. Each word is at its place here: coexistence, persistent of symptoms of lack of testosterone. These symptoms and signs are, among others, significantly reduced libido, sexual desire, and a decreased frequency of spontaneous or nocturnal erections. Physical alterations: incomplete or delayed sexual development, a noticeable reduction in beard or body hair growth, and physically shrinking testes. Secondary systemic indicators, when paired with low serum levels: bone density loss, documented osteopenia or osteoporosis, a weakening of bones as testosterone plays a direct role in maintaining volumetric bone mineral density. Body composition changes, unexplained reductions in lean muscle mass paired with an increase in visceral fat. Malaise, persistent fatigue, low energy, and depressed mood that do not resolve through sleep or lifestyle adjustments. Second, there should be a documented biochemical testosterone deficiency. These are laboratory evidence of low T levels. Organizations such as the Endocrine Society Clinical Practice Guidelines and the American Urological Association established that TRT is only considered safe and indicated when specific diagnostic thresholds are met. These 2 reputable organizations further emphasize that therapy should never be initiated based on symptoms alone. To be valid, the results of blood testing for T levels need to be done under these strict criteria and under strict protocol. A. Double confirmation or twice confirmed low serum levels. At least 2 separate morning blood samples, usually taken before 10 a.m. to account for diurnal rhythm. B. Total testosterone below the threshold of 8.7, 10.4 nanomole per liter, 250 to 300 nanograms per deciliter. C. Exclusion of acute illness. Blood draws must be avoided during acute illnesses or hospitalizations, as temporary systemic stress can falsely lower testosterone levels. Yes, you've heard it well. An acute stress can falsely and temporarily decrease your T levels. That is why some experts are worried about the U.S. Defense Secretary's plan to mass screen and treat his military with testosterone replacement therapy. Many military personnel may have temporarily reduced testosterone due to sleep deprivation, stress, obesity, overtraining, acute illness. Treating these individuals with testosterone may not address the root cause. Between 2003 and 2009, a study was conducted to test the effect of sleep restriction on testosterone levels in young healthy males. These healthy young men, restricted to 5 hours of sleep per night for 1 week, experienced 10 to 15% reduction in daytime testosterone levels, demonstrating that even short-term sleep deprivation can significantly lower testosterone. If 5 days only of sleep deprivation can decrease your testosterone levels of up to 15%, imagine if you combine this to other physiological conditions to which soldiers are usually exposed, such as overtraining, overall stress. If so far you find this video informative, I'd like to ask you one thing. Please take 15 seconds of your time to subscribe and activate the notification bell so you don't miss similar video in the future. Now let's continue with the third absolute condition required to safely prescribe and administer testosterone, the absence of absolute contraindications. In reaction to the U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth's plan to mass screen and administer TRT to his military, the Endocrine Society released a statement and confirmed 5 absolute contraindications for testosterone replacement therapy. These 5 circumstances under which testosterone replacement therapy should be avoided by all means are: E. Prostate, breast cancer risk. You have active, untreated, or suspected prostate cancer or breast cancer. B. Thick blood. Your baseline hematocrit level is already over 50% before starting treatment. C. Recent heart issues. You have had a heart attack or stroke within the past 6 months, or you have uncontrolled heart failure. D. Fertility plans. You actively want to father a child or are planning a pregnancy in the near future. E. Severe sleep or urinary problems. You have severe untreated sleep apnea or major urinary blockages from an enlarged prostate. When a correct diagnosis of male hypogonadism is properly made and all contraindications ruled out as indicated above, testosterone replacement therapy, TRT, can be a good treatment for this affection with limited side effects. Evidence generally supports improved sexual function, improved energy, increased lean muscle mass, increased bone density. Alongside the TRT exist natural ways that can help you solve the low testosterone issues and attain above benefits naturally, without any TRT side effects. This is where preventive medicine perspective will shine. For natural ways to improve testosterone, I do have a dedicated full video on this topic. If you want to get more insights, I would advise you to watch it here. But in a nutshell, here are a few natural ways of increasing testosterone naturally. 1. Sleep, the most powerful intervention. Even 1 week of sleep restriction can lower testosterone. Conversely, a good sleep hygiene will boost your T levels. 2. Weight loss. Excess visceral fat lowers testosterone. 3. Resistance training, one of the strongest natural stimulators. 4. Nutrition. Adequate proteins, healthy fats, zinc and vitamin D supplementation play a role. 5. Stress reduction. Chronically elevated cortisol suppresses testosterone production. Let me tell you a story of one of my patients called Ken. When low testosterone was not a testosterone problem, a few months ago I saw Ken, a 41-year-old construction worker, who came to my clinic with his common law partner complaining of 3 weeks of fatigue, low libido, and poor sexual performance. His blood tests ordered at a walk-in clinic had revealed a low testosterone level of 6.5 nanomoles per liter, and he was hoping to receive a testosterone prescription. However, during our discussion, I learned that 6 months earlier he had taken a second job at a warehouse to save for a condominium down payment. Since then, he had been sleeping only 4 or 5 hours per night, had stopped going to the gym, and had gained several kilograms. Rather than starting testosterone replacement therapy, I encouraged him to prioritize sleep, resume resistance exercise, lose weight, start vitamin D supplementation, and repeat his blood work. Although he missed his initial follow-up appointment, he returned 3 months later after losing his second job and resuming healthier habits. By then, he had lost about 4 kilograms. His energy, libido, and sexual performance had improved significantly, and his testosterone level had risen naturally from 6.5 nanomoles per liter to 13 nanomoles per liter, without a single dose of testosterone replacement therapy. Let's now come back to the U.S. new announced program of military mass screening of its military and mass testosterone mass treatment. The clinical questions to this are: should the military first optimize sleep, nutrition, fitness, recovery before introducing hormone replacement? Many experts would argue yes. The real issue may not be testosterone. The deeper question is, why are testosterone levels declining in many populations? Potential contributors: obesity epidemic, physical inactivities, chronic sleep deprivation, metabolic syndrome, environmental exposures, chronic stress. If these factors are driving the problem, then hormone replacement treats the symptom rather than the cause. A society cannot inject its way out of a lifestyle crisis. The military may be confronting a broader public health issue that extends far beyond the battlefield. In conclusion, the Pentagon's new testosterone screening program may become one of the most closely watched public health experiments in modern military history. Supporters see an opportunity to improve readiness, resilience, and performance. Critics worry about overdiagnosis, overtreatment, infertility, cardiovascular risks, and the medicalization of normal aging. History teaches us that attempts to biologically enhance military performance often produce both benefits and unintended consequences. The real question may not be whether testosterone can create stronger soldiers. The real question is whether we are addressing the root causes of declining health or merely treating the symptoms. What do you think? Should testosterone screening become routine in military populations? Tell me, from which country do you watch this video, and if it is okay for your country to implement such a policy of mass testosterone screening and treatment. I do read all the comments and would appreciate your thoughts and opinions on this new US policy. Leave your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this evidence-based analysis, please like, subscribe, and share this video. Until next time, remember our philosophy, from sick care to self-care. We want your home to be your first clinic, your kitchen to be your first pharmacy, and your food to be your first medication.